Why do we think that being busy is an indicator of our success? As people, we're becoming more and more obsessed with being seen to be productive. But what is it that lies beneath that belief and indeed that behavior? Keep watching to find out why we need to be busy, busy, busy. In the Western world, it's so interesting that we measure our worth by our productivity. We say, I'm so busy, I've got so much on, I've got a full weekend, I'm doing so much. And we feel that people admire us because we have a full diary. We feel that we must be seen to be working and be working really hard. And we're embarrassed when we're caught taking a break or flicking through a magazine or not being busy. We seem to think we must use all of our spare time to do more. And in COVID, people say, oh yes, I've learned a new language, I've acquired a new skill, I've learned yoga, I've learned macrame. You think, oh God, I feel awful. I have to sit on the couch and eaten tons of Pringles. Because we believe that busy means better. Busy equals productive equals better. And that absolutely is not true. I was talking to someone I know recently and said, you know, I have never seen you sitting down. Every time I come to your house, you're cooking, ironing, cleaning. And she said, I know, I really want my kids to have everything perfect. Well, they're going to remember that and not remember that you sat down and did a jigsaw puzzle with them or read a book or even watched television. When you have a partner who's always busy and you're not, a parent who's always busy and you're not, a colleague who's always so busy and you are not, it can make you feel inadequate and it can make you feel, wow, I wish they could just sit down and be with me, because guess what? You are a human being. You're not a human doing. And a human being means sometimes you just have to be. I spent a lot of time in Zimbabwe and I was fascinated by tribes who would hunt and expend a lot of energy and then do absolutely nothing, sit in the sun, sit around the fire. I look at my cats and apparently cats spend 22 hours a day sleeping. They're not good. They don't go, oh, you've just come in. I better leap up from this bed and pretend I'm busy. They have moments of extreme activity, but they actually do nothing. And they like it because you are like a battery. And just like a battery, you need to recharge and you need a full recharge. If you charge your phone for 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, it doesn't work. So think of yourself as a battery that has to recharge in order to get the best out of you. So some people have a busy job and then they come home and they spend all their time learning. I'm doing a podcast, I'm watching a TED talk, I'm doing something interesting. I'm reading an interesting book. I can't be seen to watch a vacuous program, to read a novel. I have to read books on creativity. I have to use all my spare time to learn something, to be something, to do something more. And yet doing nothing, relaxing, is recharging. In fact, all geniuses do something amazing. They'll go and lie in the garden, look at a tree, sit in the park, sit by water. And they'll often say, you know, my best ideas came when I was not working, when I was taking a long bath, walking by the ocean, just sitting in nature. Einstein apparently would sit in a rocking chair with the equivalent of a kettlebell in his hand, a round, heavy weight. He'd rock backwards and forwards. The rocking action would send him to sleep. As he slept, the round weight would crash to the floor. He'd wake up. And that was when he was at his most productive. I remember many years ago, I'd written my first book. And my publisher said, hey, we want 3 more chapters. And I'm like, I don't know where they're going to come from. Can you do that? Oh, yes, absolutely, of course. But I said that thinking, wow, where can I find these 3 chapters? I've given everything to this book. I just don't know where they're going to come from. But I just worked with someone who asked me to give her the courage to say to her boss, I cannot be productive at my desk. If I turn up at 9 and leave at 6, that doesn't make me productive. I'm a writer, I'm a creator of TV shows, and I work better at home. And I remembered that, and one day I was driving my car and I suddenly, out of nowhere, had an idea for this chapter. I pulled over and I started to write bits of it in my checkbook because it came from when I was doing nothing. And that is true for many people who create, invent, come up with stuff, that it's not when they're sitting going, oh, I've got to work now, I've got to sit down and pull these ideas out of myself. It's when you're having a bath, having dinner, walking in the park, maybe having sex with your partner, getting dressed, combing your hair, think, oh, I've just come up with something. And that is not when you're busy, it's when you're least busy that the unstressed mind comes up with ideas, because here's the truth, you have a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. The subconscious mind is in charge almost all the time. And when you are dealing with the subconscious, here's the thing to remember. The greater the subconscious effort, the less the conscious responds. And we all know this. Imagine this. Where did I put that book? Where did I put something, that paper, that invoice? I'm now going to look everywhere, pull things apart. I'm searching for my password. Where is it? Where is it? Come on. I must remember. And I'm looking in the same drawer 3 times. I've been there. I'm going back again. I'm consciously trying to find something I put away. But when I say, hey, subconscious mind, you can tell me where this is, and I do other things. I suddenly have a vision. Oh, of course, I put those keys in that drawer. I put my passport in the leaves of that book to keep it safe. It's a bit like trying to relax or trying to sleep. The harder you try consciously to let go, the less the subconscious responds when you stop trying, because after all, trying is very trying. When you stop trying, go, hey, subconscious mind, send sleep to me now. Send relaxation, remind me of something, give me an idea, give me an answer to that problem. It will actually do it. So remember, when you're dealing with the subconscious, the more you try, the less it works. When you stop trying, you think, what's the name of that place I went to? I don't know. And you think, oh, it's just popped into my head, because you stopped trying. You stopped working for it. And that's a great metaphor for your life. Your best ideas, your best thoughts often come to you when your mind isn't stressed, isn't working, isn't pushing, and you let go, and it all comes to you. You know, I had a time when I'd come back to London and I couldn't remember the combination of my safe, and I thought, I haven't used it for a year. But then I thought, I just let my fingers know how to do that, and that, so I stopped trying, and it worked. I had another time when I was using a keyboard in an internet cafe, and a lot of the numbers had worn off, but I thought, well, I don't need to know what they are. I need to imagine I'm doing it, and then I remember that the A was there, and the B was there. But if I was trying to remember those numbers, it didn't work. But letting my fingers pretend that they knew, that worked perfectly. So I want you to understand that when you are doing nothing, you are recharging. When you're listening to music, lying on the sofa, watching a meaningless movie, something silly. When you're reading fiction, when you're doing nothing at all, it's actually really good, because you are recharging like a battery. When you're working, producing, being busy, you are draining that battery, and draining until you have nothing left to give. You're a bit like a cup. Imagine you start the day as a cup full, and you tip a bit away here, and a bit away there, and a bit away there. Now your cup is empty. And how are you going to fill that up again? You fill it up by giving yourself pleasure, joy, or moments of allowing yourself to do nothing with no guilt. I often do what I call taking the day. If I've been really busy, if I've been filming 6 days in a row, I'm flying somewhere. I had that once. I think I was in Sardinia and I was going to film for 4 days. It became 6. I had to start at 6 in the morning. It was a 12-hour day. On the last day, I said, you know what? Today I am doing nothing. I got out of bed, I got dressed, and I did nothing. I ate a bit, I relaxed, because I really needed to give myself that time back. And I always call it taking the day. No one on their deathbed says, I wish I'd done more. I should have been more productive. I wish I'd stayed at the office for longer. They say things like, I wish I spent ages gazing at my baby, playing with my kids, smelling the coffee, smelling the roses, living in the moment, because the moment is all you have. The past is gone. The future isn't here, but the moment, it's so important. Trying to make something so perfect that you can't enjoy it, your wedding day, your child's birthday, your kid's graduation. Maybe you're having a dinner or an event and you're stressing about making it perfect. And your guests don't care. They care about you being with them. Remember, the people that matter do not care if your events are perfect. And the people that do care, well, they don't matter at all. And if you're scared to turn down, so I can't turn down that, I need to go, I've been invited, I must do, my boss has given me extra work, I've got to do this, I need to do it. When you feel overstretched, when you're in danger of going into brain burnout, you have to stop and say, this is too much. Because if you don't stop, your body will stop. You'll get migraines and irritable bowel and stomach aches and all kinds of issues that say stop. You know, the body doesn't lie. And when you are pushing yourself and not stopping and going, well, I'd give anything for a week in bed. What I would give for a day just lying on the sofa doing nothing, but I've got so much to do. The mind goes, you leave that with me. You said you want a week doing nothing. I've just given you the flu. You want to get out of that meeting? You're saying, I'd give anything not to go, and now I've given you chronic diarrhea. I'm so smart. I listen to your thinking. So if you don't make time and take time to chill, to rewind and to recharge, you are forcing your body to do it for you, forcing your body to create illness and anxiety and anything that will keep you at home. So if you're saying things like, this is killing me, I've got so much on, I feel like all those papers are calling my name and I can't go to bed till I've emptied my email, done all this work, stop. You're a human being. Take some time to be, because our best moments are never when we're in the office working, being productive. But our best times when we can just wake up and think, wow, and sit in bed and have a coffee and chat to my partner, play with my kids. Just be. So is it your identity? Do you feel you must be seen to be busy? Do you feel you must be labeled as, oh, she's always busy, he's so productive, he's always going at 1,000,000 miles an hour? Because if you do that, one of the things you do is make other people feel inadequate, your colleagues, even your children. They don't like that. You're making them feel they've got so much to live up to. One of my clients said, my wife never sits down. She's always cleaning, decorating, changing. I just wanted to sit down and be with me, but she's always busy and active and it's exhausting. I can't relax because she won't relax. Kids say that too. My mum is so busy. My dad is so busy. And I feel guilty because I feel, well, I got to be like that too. But I don't want to be like that. So are you doing this to prove to yourself and to prove to others that you're a capable, productive person who can over-deliver? Are you trying to overcome feelings of inadequacy? sometimes we're avoiding reality. If I'm busy, I don't have time to think. If I'm busy, I don't have time to focus on my worries. I'm busy. I always have the TV on in the background. I don't have time to think. Who says that? I don't have time to think. I'm so busy, I haven't got time to think. That's actually, sometimes we want that. We get into bed and then we're so tired we sleep, and we're avoiding issues, avoiding problems, avoiding looking at what's going on, using busy as a massive distraction. You know, years ago I was writing a book, and I remember saying to my daughter on a Saturday, don't disturb me, I've got to get this chapter finished. When it's finished, we'll go out. And she kept coming in disturbing. She was very little. I'm like, no, leave me alone. I've got to do this bit. And then I finished and I said, you know, darling, you know, Mummy's writing this book to give us a better life. She said, Mummy, I don't want a better life. I just want my mummy back. I want to be with you. And that was such a wake-up call for me. She didn't want a better life, a bigger house. She just wanted her mum. And many people will say that. Donna Summer said, her little girl said, Mummy, can you just stay home and be with me? Because she was always going out to perform. One of my friends, her little girl, said, Mummy, can I make an appointment to have a meeting with you? Because she believed she had to put something in her mum's diary and make a meeting with her just to have time. Or maybe you're with your kids and you're on your phone and you're checking your email, and they really don't like that. All your children want, I promise you, is this. They want you to be fully present with them. I wish I'd known that when I was a parent, because I was not good enough for that, but I am now. I adore my daughter. When I'm with her, I am fully present with her. I should have done that before, but remember, what your kids want, what your friends want, what your partner wants is you to be fully present with them. When you go, well, I just answer these emails, check my phone, do something, but I'm still with you. You're not with them. So let go of the universal guilt. Take some time away from social media. Your life is not just about learning, accomplishing, doing, producing. It's not about that. It's about being present with yourself, smelling the roses, enjoying the moment, because the moment is really all we ever have. And when you enjoy it and appreciate it, your life becomes extraordinary. And don't look at images of women who have perfect homes, perfect bodies, perfect lives, perfect businesses, perfect kids. That's not real. And many influencers who seem to be cleaning all the time are doing it because it's their business. That doesn't mean they want to do that. They're making a lot of money out of doing that. Doesn't mean it's really a choice. Rather like someone whose job is to have a great body, and then maybe they work out for 4 hours a day, and you see the videos, they're being paid a huge sum. If someone offered you $5 million, you would work out for 4 hours a day too. So they have a motivation, a reason to do what they're doing, but they make us feel, oh, this is normal. I should be doing that too. So overexposure to fake images of perfection make us feel inadequate. But your kids aren't going to remember that the house was perfect, your body was perfect, that you had organic avocados. They're just going to remember, did you play with them? Did you hang out with them? Did you make them feel safe and secure and lovable and interesting? And the way to give yourself permission to stop is to know you're enough. I have some friends I love dearly. I still go and stay with them. They have 4 kids and they live in chaos. I've never known a house quite so good. They have cats and dogs and hamsters, and the kids sleep where they want to sleep. They make tents in the living room. They eat when they want to eat, and yet they are the most soundly developed kids, the most amazing parents who don't really care about cleaning. They would never iron sheets because their priority is being together as a family, having fun, having so much respect for each other. And I learned so much when I stayed with them. They're the happiest, most balanced family. Those kids turned out to be amazing. You're enough just the way you are. You are enough. You always have been, and you always will be for the rest of your life. You're enough. And remember that. And remember what you're going to look back on. I lived in literally a house with a white picket fence. My mother was always on a diet, obsessed with being thin. My dad was always at work. I used to go and stay with my gran. She lived in a little flat. It was very basic. And she had arms like sides of ham. And I was the happiest person in the world there. She didn't have a luxury home. There was a lot missing, which I didn't even notice. I loved being there. She used to play cards with me and invite me to cook. My mother never made cakes or pies because they made you fat, but my grandmother, we'd make cakes, we'd make pies, we'd go to jumble sales and buy stacks of old comics. My mother would have hated those being in the house. They were secondhand. And I just remembered my happiness being with my gran because you know what? She was fully present with me. She made me feel I was the most fascinating, important person in the world. Do that for your kids because they'll never, ever forget it. And guess what? Neither will you. Shirley Conran once said, if you keep a man happy in bed, he'll never notice the dust underneath it. And I love that expression. She also said, life's too short to stuff a mushroom. She had some great expressions when she wrote her book Superwoman, which was actually tongue-in-cheek because she was like, life is too short to be Superwoman. Nobody cares about thin thighs and a bikini bridge. Nobody cares about how perfect. After all, look at Kim Kardashian, who looks perfect and her third marriage has just ended. So doesn't that tell you something? It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, being authentic, being warm. And think of the people you really love. Nobody says, I love my friend. Their jeans are always pressed. They wear crisp white shirts. Their house is immaculate. In fact, that's often likely to make you feel inadequate. I love my friend because, well, I just love her. She's late. She's a bit wild and crazy. I go to her house and she's a terrible cook. That's what we loved about Bridget Jones. She was real. And that's what people love. The basis of all friendship is this. We choose people who share our vulnerabilities. And guess what you do when you're busy, busy, busy? You show people, I don't have any vulnerabilities. I'm so busy me. I'm so productive. I'm on it. I'm doing 1,000 things a minute. And you never show your vulnerability. And then you never allow yourself to have real friends because your life is a competition. I've got kids and they're learning Mandarin and they're learning the piano and they're learning Russian and they're doing maths. That makes people feel inadequate. Just be you. You're enough. Just the way you are, real, authentic you. That's enough. It always has been. It definitely always will be. Love does not have to be earned, bought, chased after, or worked for. Love is something you give and receive. The more you give, the more you receive, the more you have to give. So if you want to have that balance, please join my 21-day abundance challenge and learn how to have abundance in all areas of your life without the need to be busy or working all the time. Just click the link below. I'll see you there. Check out my next video here. I see all my clients and they all say the same thing. I'm waiting for motivation. You know what? Motivation doesn't go, here I am. I'm motivation. I'm at your door and I've come to motivate you. You are firing new neurons. The mind